machines, big and mighty machines, working for you, doing mighty things. They're mighty machines, lifting and pulling and flying so high, building a building up to the sky. You can watch them all day and never know why. They're mighty machines. Hear them roar, watch them soar, sit right down and see. There are stories to enjoy for every girl and boy. Mighty machines, big and mighty machines, working for you, doing mighty things. They're mighty machines, working for you, doing mighty things. They're mighty machines.
Howdy, everyone. Today is a great day to come visiting. I'm excavator, and nothing makes me happier than a great big digging job. See that long pipe? It's going to be buried underground, and that's why I'm digging this long trench. I've got a lot of digging to do because it's going to be a long pipeline. It's real easy digging in this spot. Nothing but sandy clay. Well, sometimes I hit big rocks, but I just fish them out. I've already done plenty of digging on this job, and I'm not finished yet. There's still lots of sections of pipe to go into the ground. By the time all the pieces of pipe are attached together in a line and laid into the ground, it's going to be 463 kilometers long. Now that's some pipeline. Sometimes it goes a long way in a straight line, and sometimes it has a crazy zigzag bend in it. It stretches a long way across the countryside, under the roads and through farmers' fields. But since it's hidden underground, you wouldn't even know it's there. What do you think will go through these pipes? Well, the pipelines run from the oil fields, where oil comes out of the ground, to a big refinery where it gets processed. At the refinery, the oil gets made into all sorts of things, like the fuels that make cars go and lubricants for big machines like me. Airplane fuel, heating oil, even plastic comes from thick, gooey oil. The best way to get the oil to a refinery is through a pipeline. But to make a pipeline, all these pieces of pipe have to be joined together. The welding crew does that. This job is really interesting to watch.
Out of the way, coming through. I've got to move this section of pipe. It's going to be the next one to get welded on. You're just in time to see how they do it. It's pretty neat. Before it can be welded, each end of the pipe is heated up by that big blowtorch. That makes it easier for the welders to join the pieces together. Now this is how the two pieces of pipe get lined up. That crazy-looking gizmo has a little air motor that drives it through the pipe. It's called the internal line-up clamp. The clamp holds the two pipe sections together in exactly the right position so they can be welded. See? Nice and straight. Here's my pal Dozer with the welding machines. Hi there!
Let's keep moving. There are lots of pieces of pipe to weld in this section.
I'll get the next piece.
Okay. Another blast from the blowtorch heats up the joint and burns off any water before we start the arc welding. Now, there's one thing I've got to warn you about, kids. Never look at a welder's spark. Very important. It could damage your eyes. See how the welder always wears his mask and the others all wear dark goggles? You can watch welding on television, but in real life, the light is so bright it would damage your eyes. Those big gray things standing up on the deck behind me are the generators. Arc welding uses a lot of electric power, and those generators produce the electricity. It's a kind of welding that uses electric sparks. Imagine that! It's like holding lightning in your hand. That thing setting off the sparks is called a rod. The electric current from the generators is so high that the very end of the rod melts. The melted metal flows into the small gap between the two ends of the pipes. Then it cools, gets hard, and holds the two pieces together. Now the pipe is all one piece. Here we go to join the next piece. I just roll along as we make it longer and longer. Actually, each weld is done 4 times to build up the thickness. Now the grinders can get to work. See the sparks fly? That grinder is smoothing down the weld with a grinding wheel. Smooth and strong. That's what we need. There are 3 more teams of welders that follow along behind us. Each one makes the joint thicker and stronger. Oh, there's one part of welding that I forgot to tell you about: inspections. And this is the chief robot inspector right here. He's sort of a robot, X-ray machine, and skateboard all rolled into one. How are things, Inspector?
I'll tell you after I look inside this pipe.
How do you work, anyway?
I take X-ray pictures of every welded seam in the pipeline to make sure they're perfect. Boy, it sure is dark in here. On the outside of the weld is a band of photographic material. That's where the X-ray pictures show up. I travel through the pipe with the help of a little beacon that tells me where I am. Hear the beep? He's calling me. I'm coming. I'm coming. Found you. Now I'll take the picture. Click. Okay, I've inspected this pipeline over and over again, and I can't find any problems. So it's ready to be put in the ground. This is something you've got to watch.
Hi, everyone. Come to see our little parade? It takes 3 of us to move the pipe closer to the trench. Are you okay up there in the lead?
Moving along fine. Don't get too far apart.
Not to worry. The pipe is good and strong.
Look at that pipe wobble. You'd think it was made out of rubber, not steel.
We carry a lot of weight when our boom arms lift the steel pipe. So we need counterweights on our opposite side for balance. That big yellow block is the counterweight.
Our lifting slings are specialized, too. They're covered in lots of rubber wheels, so they just roll along as we move down the pipe.
The pipe has been sitting on stacks of wood ever since the sections were welded together. Now we have to shift it closer to the trench before we lower it in. Get the wood out of the way. I'm off the pipe, guys.
Aw, is the parade over?
Not yet.
The big claw excavator has to do a final check of the trench, and then we can lay this pipe. Back to the beginning, everyone.
This won't take me long. I have a terrific device for grabbing stuff. Well, I only grab dirt and rocks. I'm sort of the cleanup machine. My job is to pull out any rocks in the bottom of the trench that might damage the pipeline. Gotcha! Out you go!
Oh, hello again. We're about to start lowering the pipe into my trench. I love this part. The ends always overlap a bit, then they weld them together later. I'm just holding up the free end of this section while the dozers get ready to lower it in. Ready, gang?
Okay, everyone, here we go. Let's roll ahead. We like to work on the pipeline in long sections, and that makes it really heavy. We need 4 dozers with our special side booms to do this job. How's it going back there, pal? Are you able to get it into the center of the trench?
Oh, yeah. Easy does it. See that? The pipe goes in as simple as pie. Now the pipe will be nice and safe underground. That's the whole point, you know. Burying the pipe in a trench protects it from damage.
How's everybody doing? Okay?
Yep, so far so good.
This is great! We're making good time today.
Just keep on rolling.
Look at that pipe bend. Isn't it surprising that it can be so flexible? It's like a wet noodle. Each of us moves the pipe over a little bit more until it goes in. We don't want the pipe to bend too much. Shift those timbers out of the way, please. Thanks, fellas.
This section of pipe is nearly 1 kilometer long. That's a lot of pipe. No wonder it's so heavy.
Here we are at the end at last. Okay, I'm clear of the pipe.
I'm off too.
Let's get out of the way and let the expert finish the job.
I'll rest the end of the pipe on the wooden block.
Good job, dozers. Let's head back to the other end. Excavator needs our help.
Here's the answer to this little problem. The curve in the pipe is not quite lining up with the trench. I have to carefully shave off a bit of this side of the trench to make it fit. Oh, good. Here are the dozers back already. I could use some help. If you could pick up the pipe, then I can get my scoop down there and get this job done in no time.
Sure.
Glad to help.
Once I take off some of this corner, then the pipe should fit. Okay, finished.
All together now. Down she goes.
Great, it fits. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Well, digging a trench in dirt is pretty easy, but I know someone that digs in water. Just follow the pipeline down to the river. That's where you'll find my pal Skagit.
See that tall thing standing straight up in the air? That's me. I'm a Skagit. I know it's a funny name, Skagit. I'm a pretty complicated machine. Wheels and cables and pulleys and stuff. And I'm a machine especially designed to get pipelines across rivers. Do you know what my job is? Digging a trench for the pipeline at the bottom of the river. That's my bucket. It does the digging. Fierce looking teeth, eh? It runs back and forth on all my cables. I tow it out over the water, and then splash! But this is only one part of me. The other part is on the opposite side of the river. It acts like an anchor. My cables go all the way across the river to my anchor and then back to me. By winching my cables in, I can drag it back towards me on shore. Here it comes. It's filled with water and muck from the bottom of the river. I love making mud pies. Those teeth you saw in my bucket are what digs the trench in the riverbed. And then the bucket pulls out the muck. It's so sloppy, I just dump it onto the riverbank, where my excavator buddy scoops it out after it has drained a bit.
This is such a sloppy job. Sorry about the mess, dump truck.
Can't put much of that stuff into my cargo box. It just runs out the end.
Yeah, this job is gonna take a while.
My bucket is pretty big because the trench has to be big enough to take the biggest pipes in this pipeline, 1 meter wide. Once I get this trench finished and the pipeline is laid in the middle, the whole thing will be covered in and no one will ever know it's there. Wow, that's more like a claw than a bucket. It just tears through the river bottom. Splash!
Back it up. Little more. Hold her. There you go, dump truck. One of Skagit's mud pies, especially for you.
Oh, yum.
Oh, come on.
I've been covered in dirt since I started this job.
Well, you're a dump truck, not a limousine.
But I'm such a pretty color when I'm clean.
here's some more lovely glop.
Oh, my poor cargo box!
It's just water. Most of it will leak out before you get to the top of the hill.
This job is going to take a while to complete.
Is the pipeline prepared to be put into the water?
Cement trucks have been arriving all week, so I guess it's almost ready. How's it coming along, cement mixer?
Pretty well, thanks. This pipe sure is a big one. It has to have a concrete casing around it to make sure it doesn't float up in the river. It's funny to think that a steel pipe would float, but it can happen. That wire mesh reinforces the concrete. It adds strength to it. And the metal sleeve goes all around it to hold the concrete in. Once it's weighted down with concrete, it can't float. This is a pretty easy job for a cement mixer like me. I just drive here beside the pipe and my long trough lets the concrete flow down into the casing around the pipe. The whole pipe doesn't get covered with concrete because it needs to be able to flex a bit. I'm moving ahead slowly. Scrape that concrete inside. We don't want to lose any of that stuff. Most of the segments are already done. Just a few more to go. Okay, guys, I'm out of concrete. I'd better get back to pick up some more. I'll be back in a while.
This big pipe is just waiting for me to finish, and then it will be able to be laid down in my river trench. Then they'll join up the ends with these pieces that are already in place. I'd better get working. Splash!
Well, kids, all that's left for us to do is fill in the trench. That won't take long for big machines like us. Let's get to it, bulldozer. I always like this part of the job. Once we've filled in the trench and buried the pipeline, it won't be long before the farmer can start planting the crops again.
Yeah, it's a good feeling to finish a job.
Wowee! Ha 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 ha! This is fun!
In you go, Dirt. Back into the trench.
And I'll pack it down with my tracks.
Hi, friends. Can I join the fun? My big blade can level out the ground nice and flat.
Sure, we can use a machine that's good at smoothing. The idea is to get this piece of ground back to what it was like before we dug it up in the first place.
As soon as we've finished packing down and smoothing out the subsoil, we can cover it all up with topsoil. The farmers will be able to plant their crops and let the grass grow as if nothing had happened. And that will make the cows happy. No one would know that a pipeline is buried down there and moving oil to the refinery.
Well, kids, hope you had a good time here with the pipeline crew. Bye-bye.
Mighty machines, big and mighty machines, working for you, doing mighty things there. Mighty machines, lifting and pulling and flying so high, building up to the sky. You can watch them all day and never know why they're mighty machines. Hear them roar, watch them soar, sit right down and see. There are stories to enjoy for every girl and boy. Mighty machines, big and mighty machines, working for you, doing mighty things there. Mighty machines, working for you, doing mighty things there. Mighty machines.